since the inception of the Federal Reserve, right? The booms and busts are getting more severe. The volatility is increasing. And I think that's just another false narrative, frankly. Who is to tell you, who is to tell the free market where you should be storing your value? Right? There's a reason gold was outlawed. There's a reason Alan Greenspan came out and said the United States cannot legalize a sound store of value, otherwise it would eviscerate their business model. I just, and before fiat currency, it was common to hold cash savings, right? The way I like to put it is that money is an insurance policy against the future. So long as the future is uncertain, which is forever, there will be a demand to hold cash savings. But the problem with fiat is that there's basically the technology that's being used as cash has a technological backdoor in it that someone can siphon wealth from you continuously. So this pushes you to take on more debt, pushes you to divest your savings. And I just, it's that argument I think is just another lie in the central bank temple of lies. Like, it's all a bunch of bullshit, frankly. And I argue this in the piece, that Bitcoin is the truth, basically. If you look at free markets as these forms of free exchange that zero in on truth, and the American pragmatist described truth, which I think pragmatically makes sense, as the end of inquiry. So when you're competing in the free market, you're actually inquiring, right, about the nature of your business, your customers, your product. You're constantly tweaking, making changes. And whatever the free market generates for pragmatic purposes can be said to be truth. And free markets generate three things. One is accurate prices. Two is useful tools. And three is individual virtue or competitive competence, depending on how you want to look at it. And if you look at a price is just an exchange ratio denominated in money, right? In the sphere of human action, we're all trading things all the time. Everything is tradable at a ratio of anything else. The most tradable thing, which ends up being used to denominate all other trades, is money by definition. It's a free market phenomenon. It's not a product of the government whatsoever. And then you look at useful tools, right? If you have a shovel, that shovel is the result of countless people inquiring about what is the best way to dig holes across human history, right? The way, where to put the bolts, how long the shaft should be, what the handle should be shaped like, how the head should be pointed. Like, this is not just one guy sat down one day and constructed a shovel and we all use it forever. Like, it's a constant process of inquiry, and that process of inquiry creates the end, which is innovation itself. So even tools that we use that are successful in the marketplace can be said to be a form of truth. That knowledge structure on which they are based is a form of truth. It's the best, the sharpest way to solve a problem that we have based on our current knowledge, essentially. And then finally, in free markets, you're incentivized to be accountable to your customers, right? If your customers don't like what you're doing, they're going to go elsewhere and you're going to go out of business. So in a free market, you're actually incentivized to be virtuous, like I said, accountable. You actually have to listen to the preferences of your customer. You just have to be a good person all around to do business with other good people. And central banking, being this legal monopoly that turns free market on its head, basically blows all of that out of the water. And we see it in today. Totally annihilated price signals, right? We have stock market hitting all-time highs with 40 million unemployed in the U.S. It's asinine. The tools, there's been hardly any innovation in the businesses closer to the fiat currency spigot suffer from lack of innovation. You just look at banking, healthcare, all these things. It sucks the innovative spirit out of markets. And then finally, as I kind of argued in the beginning, it actually incentivizes you to be wicked instead of morally virtuous. It is the most rent-seeking, backstabbing, insidious, unscrupulous people that rise in these hierarchies. So it incentivizes the creation of pathological hierarchies, which I think that's what central banking is. It's the 20th century showed us that socialism or communism doesn't work. Yet this is the one market that no government in the world has ever allowed to be truly free market, right? We had glimmers of it in the late 19th century with the global gold standard, but constantly the pressure from banks to monopolize money has always conquered it. So in that sense, I look at Bitcoin as this monetary technology that can't be pathologized. It's a hierarchy of money that can't be corrupted, it can't be changed, and it is actually saving us from ourselves. Because at the end of the day, it's this egoic, self-seeking behavior that's encouraged people to be violent, and try to commandeer money and monopolize it and weaponize it to their own benefit against everyone else. And in that sense, I argue that Bitcoin is a weapon of peace. It's an assassin to time theft.